You know how we've been following very closely the Olivia, Nuzzi, Ryan, Liza, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. drama? Well, now Tucker Carlson has jumped into it. What? And this is very fascinating. So just the background, I do this at the beginning of every segment because this isn't a story that everyone's covering necessarily, so you might not know the characters. Olivia Nuzzi was a reporter, had to leave her job because it was revealed that she had, during Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s presidential campaign, a secret digital relationship, they claim, with each other while she was helping him to kill bad stories and was just doing things that journalistically aren't great, and he was cheating and she was cheating. And then Ryan Liza kind of has an axe to grind. Ryan Liza is Olivia Nuzzi's ex-fiance. They were together whenever Nuzzi was having her relationship with Robert Kennedy Jr. Olivia Nuzzi claims that Ryan Liza is just bitter and is throwing out all sorts of falsehoods. Liza claims, no, that's not true, right? Bobby is just kind of doing his thing, okay? He's not really weighing in on it for some reason. And now we have Tucker in on this. So some of the things that we've learned so far, and then I'll give you the latest details, is that Robert F. Kennedy Jr. wrote some really raunchy, very raunchy, like swallow my harvest type raunchiness, poems to Nuzzi while Robert F. Kennedy Jr. was married to Cheryl Hines. We've learned that Nuzzi allegedly feared for her life if this relationship came out, fearing that Bobby could do something or Liza could do something. We've learned, what else have we learned? That Liza claims that Nuzzi got someone to go in to Mar-a-Lago and record Trump, and that the recording that has now been destroyed heard Trump saying something that would change the course of history when it comes to Butler, Pennsylvania. Never learned what that was about. Could have been bogus. We don't know. We've learned a lot of stuff. We've learned that Nuzzi loves Bobby's brainworm, and not like they had a double affair going. It wasn't like Nuzzi was cheating on Liza with Bobby and then was cheating on Bobby with the worm. It wasn't like that so much, but she just... wait. Sorry. She loved his brain, not his brainworm. Loved his brain and hated the worm. I should word it that way. And now we have this, which is a headline that goes like this. Tucker Carlson told Olivia Nuzzi to fear for her life and offered to send her a shotgun. According to Ryan Liza. This is just everyone's alleging, so don't take any of this as gospel. Former Fox News host Tucker Carlson told Olivia Nuzzi she should fear for her life and offered to send her a shotgun during her alleged affair with Robert F. Kennedy Jr. And the reason is not because of Tucker. Tucker's not saying, because I'm coming for you. It's because Tucker thought that there was something deeper going on that involved Israel, and that Bobby or this guy Gavin, I guess. Let me just read it. Maybe I'll just read it. In the fifth part of his tell-all series on Wednesday, Liza went into further detail, claiming that the last thing Nuzzi ever said to him in person was, "If anyone ever finds out, I'm afraid Bobby will kill me." Following their subsequent breakup and Liza's threat to go public with his side of the story, Liza claimed he was contacted by a terrifying individual called Gavin DeBecker, who has worked as a security specialist investigator for several high-profile individuals, donated millions of dollars to Kennedy's 2024 presidential campaign. For the next few months, DeBecker would hover in the shadows, working on Bobby's behalf to keep the public from knowing any of this story. So that's the background. There's this guy that Liz is saying is hovering around on behalf of Bobby. He would occasionally check in on Olivia, according to her friends, just to make sure she remained loyal and was protecting Bobby's secrets. At one point, Olivia told Tucker Carlson about the details of one of DeBecker's calls to her. Tucker told her she should fear for her life and offered to send her a shotgun. A shotgun, which I said to the guys before we started recording today about this story, that's kind of a weird choice. If you think someone's life is being threatened, it's kind of a weird choice to be like, so you can use my spare shotgun, as opposed to like a handgun that I'm assuming Olivia Nuzzi, being like a New Yorker journalist, isn't like trained with firearms. And so like something that you could easily, I feel like the first time I used a shotgun was pretty surprising, and I did not hit my target. And it wasn't a person. Okay, I was just shooting at one of the little things. Missed. My shoulder was like, ah. So it would be kind of weird to be like, don't come in here. For Nuzzi, right? I'm assuming this is not true, which is why I'm being silly. If someone was after her, that's very serious. Carlson went on to have dinner with Kennedy during this period. Don't you agree with me? Like, shotguns are kind of jarring for just a random...
Yes, but technically they're the best for like home defense because
that is true.
Spread and
they go.
You're not really. If you don't know how to use a gun in general, you probably won't shoot straight. So
yeah, but if someone's coming in your house, you should be able to get one off at them.
Debunked.
You know what? Hey, I'm glad that this is our firearm expert. That's a good point. That's a good point, and I feel dumb now. But I was just thinking, like, they have a big kick. What is it called? Kickback? Recoil. Bah! And it would be weird if you missed, even though you're right, spray. And then you're on the ground, like, my shoulder. Carlson went on to have dinner with Kennedy during this period, according to Liza, and they debated how high up the plot to destroy Bobby went. Tucker, by then, was telling people, including Olivia, that Bobby was being blackmailed by Israel. Bobby just thought it was me, possibly working with Olivia, but Tucker thought it was a much grander deep state plot to destroy Trump by destroying Bobby. He assumed I was just the tip of the spear. So get a shotgun. No. Use mine. Which, by the way, I think Carlson was just trying to get in on this. I think he's just trying to get in. Everyone was having affairs with everyone. He's like, let me in on it. And thought it would be like hot to loan her his shotgun. And then he's gonna be like, oh, but you don't know how to use it? Let me go. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. Not really, but you put the thing in the thing, and you go, right? That's how I've learned. You go, and you say something cool, and then you go, but then he could go to her house and be like, hey, Livy, I know a lot about shotguns. Here, let me show you. And then he goes around, and he's like, you put your hand here, and then you stroke. I think Tucker was trying to get in on it. So, what was I saying? I just pictured Tucker like with a shotgun. I think that's interesting. Deep state plots destroy Trump by destroying. Oh, what I was going to say was, why would destroying Bobby destroy Trump? Every second there was a bad news story about Bobby and no one cared. Like, they should have, but they didn't. I love how he's like, don't let anyone know that I had an affair with Nuzzi. Oh, I'm sure that will be the difference maker after your 48 others. I'm sure it'll be, well, that's it for us. Or, no, it's just I didn't want people to find out that I used a romantic relationship to get someone in journalism to act in unethical ways journalistically to help my campaign by suppressing stories, because that would be a bombshell. Oh, really? Because you remember whenever Trump got people to work with journalists to do unethical things, to suppress stories about Stormy Daniels, and nobody cared? I'm sure Bobby doing it would be the difference maker. Okay, but maybe there's a deep state plot. Who knows? And then we also got a new poem from Kennedy to Nuzzi, allegedly. Did I fall first in love with her mind or her body? Or was it her language or her boldness? All long before I tasted her or inhaled her aromas. Now, I've given a lot of advice on the bonus show to our single people out there. Includes me, but I got great advice still. And one of the things that I advised was, don't use the word harvest, which was in one of Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s poems, to describe your... do one of the Trump ones that kind of clarifies what I'm talking about.
Please come, President Trump. They're begging us to come.
Yes. For that, don't say harvest. It's weird. The other advice I gave was, hey, maybe who is that guy? Whoever posted that thing about how when you're trying to approach a woman, you should go, may I meet you? And that'll be a good way to start. And I said, maybe not. Maybe you could just say, hi. I think it would be as effective, if not more. And another one, and I actually believe this, is as you're starting to get close with someone, you go, I'm inhaling your aromas. And it kind of makes people feel seen and smelled, actually. A lot of people feel seen, but they don't feel smelled enough, and they definitely don't feel tasted enough. This is something you probably had conversations with people, and you're like, no, you didn't do anything wrong. I just don't feel seen. I don't feel seen. I don't feel heard. Those are so normal. What is actually under them, we're rarely saying I don't feel heard. We don't care about that. What we really care about is I don't feel tasted, right? And so that's kind of what Bobby's getting at in this poem. No, I'm kidding. That's just a joke. So that's the Tucker of this all. I had more, but I don't really want to hear about. Here, ready? Really quickly. The New York Times writing a piece about Tucker Carlson's relationship, or about Andrew Tate, and they wanted a comment from Tucker Carlson about Tucker Carlson's relationship with Andrew Tate and platforming of him. The article is seen here, which is more broadly about how a Manosphere star accused of rape and trafficking was freed with the assistance of the Trump administration, and in part, that's because Barron Trump was a really good friend, or really loved, I should say, the Andrew Tate Manosphere, and so he probably sucks. So, great, that's it. That's the story. That's the summary. Just so you know, every time I give you a 10-minute rant on a story, it could be that. So just think about that next time. I could sum it up that quickly.